We got to talk about misalignment. Doing something that makes sense even if it lacks fulfillment.
Yeah,
Good storytellers know that structures matter more than details. And after 100 videos, I feel like I've gotten a little off track. So in 2026, I'm course correcting so I can get back to telling the stories I intended.
Can you help me find my way?
Me and my son were watching this movie earlier, and I was explaining to him that the one thing that I really liked about the movie was that instead of it being like this greedy corporation, they made it one individual. It's like when you sit down to eat a meal because you're hungry, and then you start to overindulge because the food is good. Greed is something that happens probably unintentionally. You start out with a pure motivation, and then at a certain point, you just kind of lose your way. With content creation, you can start out because you want to build a community or because you have a message you want to put out. And then when you don't see the results that you feel like you deserve, you start reaching. You start doing things that you know will be more successful, but they're not really in alignment with why you started in the first place. Now, I always compare content creation to navigating a ship. Like there's obstacles and there's water and there's wind, and you have to like weather the storm. Like you have to navigate all the resistance. Working with professional artists has been eye-opening because you see where some artists can just walk away and then others fall off. Like there's a clear distinction between the two. Walking away is you did what you came to do and now you decide you're going to go do something different. Whereas falling off is continuing to do something even if you're failing. When I look back at my own path, I see a bunch of hard pivots. Me deciding to do something that people on the outside might question because they're like, well, that doesn't make sense. If this is working, why wouldn't you just keep doing that? Why wouldn't you just double down? But it's because I know what my North Star is. Like I know what I'm pursuing. And if you don't do that, that's where greed kicks in. Like maybe you do start out successful and you're doing really, really well, but are you doing well at the thing that you actually want to be doing well at? What is your goal? What is your purpose? What is your mission? Greed happens when you forget why you started. And so instead of trying to figure out how to do things, you need to first figure out what it is you actually want to do. Posting is a cheat code. You know, it's funny. Everybody thinks they want views, right up to the point where they realize they're being watched. So after about a year and a half of making videos, editing this footage, definitely see some areas for improvement. So I'm gonna really try to be more aggressively hitting my workouts. And you know, I always say that social media is a cheat code, and this is kind of why. You take subscribers and followers and money and all of those external things out of it, and you just focus on the footage that you record and then posting it, and with the hopes that maybe somebody will see it. There's just a level of accountability. I can lie to you guys all day long. Like you don't see my footage, right? But I see the raw, unedited footage, and I can see those moments when the camera turns a little bit to the left and a little bit to the right, and things aren't hanging where they're supposed to be, and it's a little bit uncomfortable to look at. And I'm just like, okay, we can work on that. If I'm posting and I say I'm going to do this or I'm going to show you guys that, and I don't, you might never comment, hey, where's that video? But I know that's what posting on social media does. Like it really brings out your flaws, your growth, your areas for opportunity, your results. That which is measured improves. If I say I'm gonna post a video every single day and I don't, like there's numbers, there's metrics, there's me seeing that I said I was gonna do something and coming up short. And that accountability, I think it really helps. I know there's this thing that people say like, oh, you shouldn't state your goals or you shouldn't put things out in public. And it's just like, I mean, I guess that's a way to look at it. Like that whole keep it to yourself because you're less likely to complete your goal. I understand it's probably more so speaking to like stating it. So therefore you feel like you get the same level of dopamine as you actually achieved a goal. Like, but sure. But that doesn't take into consideration that when you state your goals publicly, that's when people can actually help you. No, I talk to people about my goals. I tell them what I want to do because maybe they have a friend who can help me to do what I'm trying to accomplish, or they can offer some advice or tell me to read a book or whatever. Like, yeah, there's going to be some people who are going to be detractors, but then there's also going to be people who can genuinely help you to accomplish what you're trying to do.
So public.
Show you what we've done so far. We have replaced our dining table with this guy, which I am very, very excited about. But just pretend you didn't see it because I've already started working on episode 2 of the apartment remodel. But yeah, the way I kind of do my videos is more like I share stories. So even though things happen, they're not necessarily in sequence, but I record them in real time, but then the video comes together over time, which is why my videos probably feel a little bit different. Like the first couple of videos I did, the first 6 months or so, I was recording like back to back to back. But then I kind of realized that I needed to let more time pass in between stories in my life to really let them develop. Otherwise, it was just too forced. Like I'd be trying to make something happen. Now the way I do it, like videos will start and they won't end in terms of like the actual timeline of the video will be 3 months. So I'm always kind of working on a video and things are, I publish them, but it's not necessarily that I'm putting out what just happened. It could have happened a while ago, but it's still pages from my diary. It's still Dad's diaries. We are getting ready for 2026. Getting ready for the new year, and I want to really keep cleaning up. Like, we haven't taken down the tree yet, and I think we've decided to wait until New Year's to do it. I want to keep getting rid of things, cleaning up, but I still need to redo my bedroom, the living room, and that whole dining area is still a work in progress. But I'll show you what I've done so far. Actually, wow, I've done 2 things. So I've already added this buffet table here and the dining table here. Don't mind the crumbs. I added this shelf here. So it's in progress, but we're not done yet. Move some things around, but the holidays, everything gets shifted around and I don't really love it. Like this lamp usually goes over there. This is all gonna change still, but yeah. I want to get out of the house. I don't want to be here all day.
But I just can't help loving you. It's like wanting to touch a star. You know you'll never reach it, but you've just got to keep trying. Don't record me!
Storytelling is the most impactful way to share wisdom. We don't always remember lectures, but we do remember the characters and lessons in songs, books, and movies. My intent is always to share the insights that might have made my journey a little bit easier.
You see, a great chef must learn to think not from here, but from here.
Lately I've been feeling kinda low, praying to the Father that I know, got me so that I can take your hand, so we can keep on praising, yeah I will, I might go and cut the deal, cut it, we gon' have to elevate.
It has been a minute since I did just a regular day in the life vlog, but it's time to get back to business. We're back on dad mode. I've been having some fun with these cameras, been great making content, just kind of talking about my process a bit, but, I definitely want to make sure I'm dividing things evenly. I'll do some educational content, but then, regular dad content is always coming right behind it. And I actually just secured another partnership for another giveaway. I just want to try to do more. Like, I'm a little bit more savvy this time around with my content creation, so as I get opportunities, I'm definitely going to do my best to try to make sure I can give back to the people who support me. So if you are following this channel, make sure you are on all notifications. I did a giveaway about 2 months ago or so, and I cannot find the winner. So, I'm definitely not going to be tracking people down to give stuff away, but if you enter one of my giveaways and I want to send you a prize, please don't make it so difficult. I definitely don't want to lose sight of why I returned to YouTube, what my intention is with the content that I create. My intention 100% was to be dedicated to this dad content, but I've learned over time that YouTube doesn't really like it the way I've been doing it, so I've had to be a little bit more clever, a little bit more strategic. And here comes the security guard who is about to harass me. So I'm just going to keep talking until he stops me, because he's going to be like, what are you doing over here? But whatever. Maybe I'll just pretend it's a live stream. That way he doesn't stop. Oh, he's getting closer. What? What do you want, sir? Howdy, sir. Ma'am. Wonderful. How are you?
I know I said I've been doing my workouts, but a big reason was in preparation for the fire academy. After careful consideration, I've decided to turn it down. I figured if I can't be an artist, then I'd rather be a hero. But my son reminds me that I already am.
When my parents split up, I remember my mom working just way too much. Like crazy 16 hours, 18 hours, even 12 hours, honestly. It's just a lot of time away from the home. It's a lot of time that I wish that she was there. And I didn't want that for my son. So I think I'm probably going to turn down the opportunity to join the Fire Academy. I became a professional artist because I like to create, but once I got in, I really found joy in the collaborative part, just putting a bunch of minds together and working on one singular vision. And that's the thing that I'm looking for in my next opportunity. I enjoy working with my hands. I enjoy working outside, experiencing new things, and helping, like contributing to society, doing something I think is meaningful. Those are the elements that I'm looking for in my next opportunity. I don't think I care so much about what it is, but I do want to be fulfilled. But ultimately, I don't want something that takes me away from home. My place is with my son, and being a fireman would mean I would be away for 48 hours at a time. It'll still give me time to do other things, but that is a significant amount of time to be away, and it just doesn't work. So I sent an email last night, inquired on some information, and I'm pretty excited because later on this morning I'm going to be heading down to this office, filling out some paperwork, and hopefully taking the first steps into my new journey. I've learned not to restrict myself in a particular box because, you don't know what you don't know, right? Like everything that I base my life on up until now has been based off of things that I experienced, that I heard about, but the world is just so much bigger. There's so many things that you don't really even know exist until somebody else puts them in front of you. So I think you just got to be open-minded. I was looking at my Transcendia. What is it? And I'm just noticing this thing is like overgrown. I can barely get water to the roots. But it is a plant that propagates pretty well, meaning that I can like grow new stems off of this. So I'm going to cut this back a little bit and I'm going to get rid of some of the excess because I think there's an opportunity to grow through taking things away. I was never a fan of TikTok. Like I just always thought it was super silly. Like, what's this dancing app? Who needs that? And I was not interested in short form content because I do big, long form, introspective, deep stories. But when I gave it a chance, I realized that TikTok does something that YouTube does, but not as easily and not as often. But TikTok warms my heart. And I never thought I would say that. With that said, one of my guilty pleasures every morning before I wake up my son is looking up dad videos, and it's just always the cutest stuff. I don't know why I watch this stuff. Yeah, listen, I don't judge you for your true crime dramas. Don't judge me for for these videos. The videos that got me working on a presidential campaign weren't the videos that I set out originally making. It came down to a bare bones talking head format that reached people and had influence. And I think a lot of us spend a lot of time trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Like, we don't realize that maybe that's not the format for us. Like, that's not the medium for us. Like, maybe we're supposed to be writers, maybe we're supposed to be musicians, maybe we're supposed to, podcast, or just not do what we think we're supposed to do. And we spend so much time trying to make something work that just doesn't work. If your goal is to change the world, then maybe you're supposed to be a scientist and not a rock star. And now breakfast.